Alright, lesson 2-2 is comparing and ordering rational numbers. Our objective is to learn to compare and order positive and negative rational numbers written as fractions, decimals, and integers. Alright, let's take a look. Now, our vocabulary for today is going to be least common denominator. The least common multiple of two or more denominators. It says to compare or order rational numbers, first write them in the same form, meaning we need to make them both fractions or both decimals or the same form. To compare fractions, find a common denominator. This could be the least common denominator, which is the least common multiple of the denominators. Alright, let's take a look at our first example. Now, what it's telling you to do, one way we can compare these is simply by finding a common denominator for both 6 and 10. Now, the way it says to do it, or one way it says to do it, is just multiply 6 times 10. Well, we know that 6 times 10 gives us 60. Okay? So we need to convert both those fractions into, well, fractions that have a common denominator of 60. So, the first one, 5/6, and our next one, 7/10. Now remember, whenever we are changing fractions, changing the numbers, we're not really changing the value, okay? Because whatever we do to the top, we also have to do to the bottom. For example, on 5/6, we know that 6 times 10 is 60. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to multiply the top by 10 and the bottom by 10, which is going to give me, what, 50 over 60? Then I'm going to have to do the same thing to 7/10. So I have to multiply 10 times 6 to get my denominator of 60, and 7 times 6 to get my numerator, my top number, which is going to be, what, 42? 7 times 6 is 42. 10 times 6 is 60. Okay? So, really, what I'm looking at here is 50 over 60. Is that going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 42 over 60? Well, now all we have to do is compare those top numbers because our denominators are the same, and obviously 42 is smaller than 50, so our alligator has to eat the 52. So in this one, our 5/6 is going to be larger than my 7/10. So our 5/6 is larger in this instance. And that's all there is to it. Now, there is an easier way to do this, and I'm going to show it to you on our next slide. Let's take a look at our next slide. Okay, the butterfly method. If you look right here, I have the butterfly method. Okay, now there's nothing under there, but let me show you what it's talking about. Okay, what the butterfly method is it's saying when we're comparing our two fractions, for example on this one, our 5/6 and our 7/10, okay, what our butterfly method is basically we are going to cross multiply on this. Okay, we're going to cross multiply the 5 and the 10, which gives me 50. Then we're going to cross multiply the 7 and the 6, which gives me 42. Now, the reason why they call this a butterfly method is because, well, it kind of looks like a butterfly. If you were to, draw a little body out here, a little head right here, maybe some antennas right here. Okay, it kind of looks like a butterfly. But that's just a way to help us remember. Now, what we're actually doing is we're going to compare this 50 and the 42 right there. And we're going to use those numbers to compare my two fractions to see which one is bigger. Well, obviously, again, the 50 is larger than 42, so therefore your greater than symbol is going to be facing your 5/6, or the alligator is going to eat the bigger number, or whatever you want to say. Okay? Good. Let's take a look at our last example here. Oh, we have two. All right, so let's take a look. The first thing we need to do on letter B is we are going to need to convert these to either both fractions or both decimals. Okay? So, I tell you what, let's change 80 into a fraction, or 0.80 into a fraction. Well, we'd have to identify that 0, what place value it's in, which it's in the 100ths place, so this fraction would be 80 over 100 is greater than, less than, or equal to 4/5. Now, don't forget about your negatives, because I need to put those back on here, because those are important. Now, once I have that, now I can solve this. Okay, I could find common denominators, or I could cross multiply, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply, use my butterfly method on this. Okay, 4 times 100, that's 400. 5 times 80, that is also 400. Okay, so on this one, 400 is equal to 400, so obviously my answer for letter B is going to be equals. Alright, easy enough. Okay, let's take a look at letter C. Again, letter C is going to be the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and convert these to fractions because I think that's easier. Okay, this 8 right here, that is in the tenths place, so I would simply do 8 over 10. Okay, now we could do our butterfly method again, which again, I like that one the best because it seems to be the easiest. Okay, 5 times 10 is 50. 6 times 8, that's 48. Okay, well, what number is larger? Well, 50 is obviously larger, so letter C is going to be greater than. Your alligator is going to eat the 50 because it's larger. Alright, that's all there is to it, ladies and gentlemen. Butterfly method, easiest way to go. Give you the correct answer every time. Good luck.